Friends, the story is of a boy who installs the AstroTalk application. And here's what happened next. As soon as the app opens, this boy is assigned an astrologer whose name was Mohit. And right after that, the boy provides all the exact information connected to his birth details and life to him. And then the boy asks him the question about his career and his mother's health. But then the astrologer, with the great confidence, gives a prediction to the boy according to his planets and nakshatra, and tells him that his mother's health will be fine very soon. And guess what happened next? But the real twist will come when you will find out that the mother about whose health the astrologer spoke had already left this world 2 months earlier. And the astrologer was predicting that the diseased mother would become fine in a few days. But this isn't the only shocker. Because friends, the story is not the only such story. There are countless accounts where astrology's predictions are so wrong and ridiculous that you yourself are forced to laugh. Meanwhile, nowadays, all this is not limited just to apps. But on Instagram and social media also, there is a flood of astrologers and their influence. Now here's the thing. By taking millions of views, telling people the ways to earn money, or in the name of improving the personality, strange predictions are being made by them. All this is being done in the name of astrology science. But the irony is that the real science calls astrology a pseudoscience. Still, even today in India, there has been no decrease in the number of people who believe in astrology. Actually, you will be surprised to know that today in India, astrotech, meaning in a way online apps or astrology websites, has made a market that has become so big that by next year, it has the possibility of reaching the $1 billion club. In such a situation, it can be said that the pseudoscience has now gone beyond the mathematical calculation and become a very large industry, where in the name of astrology, only the business is being done. If you still doubt it, and if you are not believing it, then look at this report, in which it is revealed that one telling the future on AstroTalk is none other than a UPSC aspirant, who in the name of earning a bit more money is predicting the people's future. Therefore, in today's video, we will understand in detail how exactly this scam is running in the name of astrology. And friends, what is the real truth of this pseudoscience? But before that, if you are a UPSC aspirant, there is a game-changing opportunity for you. StudyIQ Sampurna Batch is a comprehensive program in which, along with the top educators, you get 1,000+ hours of live classes, personalized mentorship, handwritten notes, and MRP types intensive programs. Under prelims and main scholarship, upon clearing the prelims, the entire fees will be refunded. For the top performers, there is a monthly cash rewards as well. For economically weaker sections, there is also a special Udan scholarship. Ex-Secretary Anil Swarup sir will himself guide you in this journey. On StudyIQ, more than 2 crore Indians have trust, and now with Sampurna Batch, your UPSC dream will also be achieved. Silver, gold or platinum, choose the plan that fits your need. Now, what you have to do is go to the StudyIQ website, click on the UPSC Sampurna Badge, and once you click on Buy Now, you can see the discount code there. Type GS Life and you will get the lowest price. And obviously, your IAS journey starts here. Now, friends, you must have also seen AstroTalk advertisement at some point, in which, under the name of a daily free chat, they entice you to install the application and talk to the astrologers for free. Those who get entangled in these advertisements and sign up on the app, they see a message on the screen that congratulations, you got a free chat. And then on the screen, there appears a shining yellow circular platform where people in their stylish Western outfits look busy on their mobile phones and laptops. Below, a large start free chat button is flashing, which is designed to attract the people. As soon as the user clicks this button, the chat window opens and astrologer appears in front of you. Along with that, a 2-minute countdown timer starts running above. Now watch this. In the initial excitement, the user asks the question related to career, marriage or relationship. And in reply, the astrologer first asks for his personal details like date of birth, time, etc. But even after that, instead of giving a direct answer, the astrologer keeps asking more questions. Gradually, the time comes close to ending, and in the final few seconds, the astrologer says that your horoscope is very good. Just recharge once. And then I can tell you everything in full detail. But by now, friends, the curiosity has entered the customer's mind. He feels that if he talks a little more, maybe he'll obtain some special information about his future. And in this eagerness, he does a recharge of X rupees, through which he gets 6 extra minutes of time. But the real game starts here. Now, longer the chat goes on and more the recharges, more will be the earning of the platform and the astrologer. And hence, in this way, without giving any solid answer, the user is forced again and again to spend the money. Now, if you're wondering that when the world has become so modern and developed with advanced technology, then why people are still believing in astrology today? And how startups like AstroTalks are becoming the unicorns? Well, here's the biggest reason, and that is COVID-19. During COVID, an entire wave of uncertainty came in the whole world. People were not able to understand that what was going to happen with them next. Because of this fear and anxiety, they started showing trust in the astrology. And as it turns out, AstroTalks founder himself admits that his company got the biggest success during the COVID era. After the initial success, the company understood that in the coming time in India, the religious and spiritual industry's demand is going to grow even more rapidly. According to some studies, in the next few years, this industry is going to be $125 billion industry. And in such a situation, apps like AstroTalk started scaling themselves rapidly to cash on in this opportunity. Now understand it like this. In today's time in India, the young generation's population is the highest. These youths are filled with an aspirational mindset, but due to lack of good education and skills, they feel a lot of uncertainty about their future. And this is the reason that the apps like AstroTalk target the biggest worries of the young generation with their advertisements. Now, if you look at their strategy clearly, here's what they target. Questions related to relationship, talk of breakups, uncertainty in careers, confusions related to marriage and family. It is this confusion that these apps take advantage of. If you look at some real-life examples, on January 31st, 2025, Hindustan Times printed a report. In it, one woman told how AstroTalks astrologers give fake predictions to trap people. The woman said that one day she saw the free chat advertisement and signed up on the application. And right after signing up, that woman got 10 minutes of free chat. In excitement, she immediately asked the question, "At what age will I get married?" The astrologer immediately replied back that, "Ma'am, after 3 years." Then that woman told him, "But I am already married." And immediately, just upon hearing that, the chat suddenly ended and she couldn't even use the remaining 5 minutes. Another case. In a similar way, during one of the YouTube sessions, she asked questions about her career and baby planning. She asked, "Should I plan a baby or should I focus on my career?" The astrologer immediately told her that by the end of next year, there is a possibility of having a child, or you should plan for a baby. But immediately after that, he said that Rahu's period is going on you, which can bring difficulties. Now, naturally, the woman's mind developed both curiosity as well as fear. Just as she proceeded to ask more, her chat time ended. And just because this fear and curiosity has entered her mind, she immediately did a recharge. But this time, the same astrologer was not assigned. Instead, a few new astrologers' profiles appeared, whose rating was quite high. Now, when she selected a new astrologer and asked the same question again, the answer turned out to be completely opposite to the previous one. The answer she got was, "There is a favorable time for your government job. So instead of planning the baby, you should prepare for the job." Now think about it. And you tell me, friends, if two different astrologers on one app, upon seeing one lady's basic details, give two completely different answers, then who will not say that this app is only doing random fake predictions? It's obvious, in which most things are so generic that they almost match every person's profile or personality, and people feel that astrologer is telling the truth. But in reality, this is a pure business and taking away people's money in the name of their faith and belief. Meanwhile, if you have understood this fake or random prediction idea of AstroTalk, then come, now let's understand how the company is not only making fools of users, but also exploiting the astrologers registered on its app. According to a Live Mint report, AstroTalk has now become like a call center, where astrologers are pressurized to keep customers entangled in a chat for a longer time. Earlier, there was a 50-50 revenue share between the company and the astrologer. But now, the company has taken its share to 70%, saying that 20% will be spent on the marketing. Besides this, now astrologers get only the old 50-50 revenue if they chat for 30 minutes. Otherwise, they're only given the 30% of the total money. One astrologer even said that they are given special training on how to keep customers for longer, meaning the company is promoting those astrologers who are experts in entangling people, not the ones who make correct predictions. So in reality, AstroTalk is not interested in telling the future, but rather making money through people's faith and worry. Which is for this reason that astrology cannot predict people's future, and this is already proven. In such a situation, generating its profit from people's anxiety and their faith, AstroTalk has become one of the most successful startups in the country. But still, why are we saying that astrology cannot predict any sort of future? And that is proven as well. To understand this, we will have to go bit back into the history and understand with the help of history and science that astrology is certainly a knowledge. But it is not a knowledge that predicts future, friends. So friends, to understand this, we'll have to go bit back into the history and understand with the help of history as well as science that astrology is certainly a knowledge, but it is not a knowledge that predicts the future. There was a time when astronomically people also drew horoscopes of fate, and that was the era when people believed that planets and constellations were not just the stones which were shining in the sky, but that the thread of our life was also in their hands. Now think 2300 years ago, a Greek astronomer, Aristarchus of Samos, said that, "Brother, the sun itself is the real boss. Everything is revolving around it." And upon hearing this, everyone's senses were blown away. Then in India, our Aryabhatji in the 5th century again said the same thing, that, "Oh brother, the earth is round and it is revolving around the sun." But the real fun came in the 16th century. Galileo saw stars and planets through his telescope and said, "Oh brother, truly the earth is not any VIP. It also revolves around the sun." Now, interestingly enough, Galileo was not an only astronomer, but also an astrologer. Now, the story becomes more interesting here because Galileo, after seeing the horoscope of Roman Emperor Ferdinand II, said that, "King sir, you will live a long life." But look at the fate. Just a few days later, the king passed away. Now, this was a very big shock for astrology. People started saying that, "Friend, there's something wrong with astrology's math." And from here, for the first time, the split between astronomy and astrology began. Even astronomically, astrology was completely separated from astronomy. That knowledge, which was once considered the biggest advisor of kings and emperors, was declared a fraud by the scientists. And people also started to understand that instead of looking at the stars, it's better to determine one's own direction in life. But astrology, without any update, still today claims to tell people's future. It is called a mathematical method in which, on the basis of the place of birth, time and date, predictions are made about anyone's personality, future, lifespan, children, job, marriage, and their health. If someone is in trouble and he is told that all this is not his fault but is happening because of his planets, and that with some simple remedies the problem can be solved, then the person is psychologically compelled to try them. Friends, throughout the world, the biggest role in keeping astrology alive is the horoscope. Very few people know its truth. So come, today let me tell you the real truth of this horoscope. Have you ever noticed that whenever we meet an astrologer or read our horoscope, then it often seems that, "Oh, this is exactly about me." And thinking this, we feel that the astrologer knows everything. But this is no magic, rather a psychological trick, which is called Barnum effect. Bertram Forer, who was a famous psychologist, he once gave a personality test to 39 students of his introductory psychology class. After a week, he gave each student a personality sketch according to their personality, in which there were 14 statements. Then he told the students to rate it between 1 to 5 as to how much it matched their true nature. The students gave a high rating. The average was 4.3, and almost everyone felt that the sketch matched their true personality. But friends, the twist was that all the students were given the same sketch. Despite that, each one felt that it was only about them. Now, this trick is used in horoscopes as well, where common and generic things are presented in such a way that each person feels that they apply to themselves. But if you still don't believe, then come. Through some interesting studies, we'll explain you that what the reality of astrology is. First, let's talk about the Naniga Astro Test. In 1996, a fun experiment happened which completely exposed the astrologers. So 44 astrologers were given a task in which they were given two different sets of papers. In first set, there were 7 unknown people's birth details. That was date, time and place of birth. Where in the second test, there were personality questionnaires of those people, which were related to their nature, career, relationships, hobbies, health and family. Now these questionnaires were taken from Berkeley University's personality profile. Along with a few extra questions added, which the astrologers themselves had suggested, the twist was that the astrologers had to do planetary constellations calculations based on the birth details from the first set and then match them with the personality profiles in the second. And if any astrologer would have correctly matched all 7 people's details to their personality profiles, he would get a $200 reward. But guess what? The result were nothing less than a bad dream for astrology. Even the most experienced astrologer matched only 3 out of 7 correctly. Just think, the knowledge that claims to know every aspect of people's life just failed in this small test. But again, the irony is that it was not for the first time that astrology failed on such a large scale. Come, let me tell you one more study. Similar to Naniga Astro test, in 1968, French psychologist Michael Quellen conducted an interesting experiment. He gave an ad in newspaper. He gave an advertisement in the newspaper stating that if people send him their date of birth, time and place, then he would send them a 10-page personalized horoscope for free. Now, thousands of people sent their details, and when they received the horoscope, 94% of people were extremely happy with it, and 90% said that their family also find it exactly correct. But the real twist was Michael Quellen had sent everyone the exact same horoscope, which belonged to a serial killer who was born on 17th of January. Hence, this again proved repeatedly that astrology is not a science of telling the future, but merely a psychological trick. And friends, there have been many such studies that have been done now around the world that claim that telling anyone's future through astrology is nothing more than a psychological trick. But even after this, people who believe in astrology give some logic in its counter. Now let us understand those logics. A common argument of astrology is that if the moon can bring tides in the ocean, then why wouldn't it affect the humans? But the answer is simple. The ocean has billions of liters of water, whereas a human body has a merely few liters. The moon's gravity affects the ocean, but its effect on the human body is so much negligible that it is ignored even in the scientific calculations. Besides this, the changes even happen in the space every second, and the so-called pseudoscience astrology also ignores them. And this is the reason that it is not science, but a system based on faith. Now, if we are calling it faith, then faith can be individual. But calling the faith a science is completely wrong. Now, one more argument that is given in support of astrology is that even the weather science makes mistakes. So why only blame astrology? Its answer is easy. Weather science updates itself with time. For example, today we can make accurate predictions of storm and cyclones, by which thousands of lives can be saved. But in astrology, the same mistakes which the astrology was making 20 years ago is making even today, without any update or improvement. So you see friends, in this way you can understand how astrology every time gets caught in its own woven web. But despite that, people keep getting caught in this web again and again. And the biggest reason for that is that the astrology gives people hope at the time when they are uncertain about their decisions and their future. Since this uncertainty is the part of human nature, astrology will always flourish by exploiting this nature, no matter how much research and how many studies are done to prove it wrong. Now, this is the reason that even if we believe in astrology, we should not trust it blindly. From one perspective, in the beginning, because of the placebo effect, some positive results of astrology were also seen. But those who make it a medium and claim to change your future, be cautious of them, and especially of the online astrology. Now, that was analysis for today's video. I hope you like it. Now, what are your views about it? Do mention in the comments. See you really soon with a new video. Till that time, take care of yourselves and thank you very much.